Looking for a place to watch all the games with your buddies this football season? You've got to stop by Long Neck Sports Grill. There are 3 locations, each one of them with 4K TVs all over the place, and the sound is always on for the big games. And you've heard me talk about Long Neck's menu, but have you tried the wings? What are you waiting for? And no place has a better beer selection than Long Neck's. And don't forget, Long Neck Sports Grill is also home of the Roundtable Show. Wilder, Hebron, and Richwood, each one of them awesome. Long Neck Sports Grill. This football season, stay late. Come often. We do this on Wednesdays. We chat with one of the experts from OrthoCincy Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. And awesome thing about OrthoCincy is they have specialists and locations all over the tri-state. And they offer walk-in orthopedic urgent care at 5 tri-state locations. And they have extended evening and weekend hours in Edgewood and Anderson. The folks in Anderson took care of my daughter's broken ankle. You can learn more at OrthoCincy.com. That's OrthoCincy.com. Dr. Nick Gates from OrthoCincy is with us. We have injuries to talk about. Let's start with Trevor Lawrence, who unfortunately suffered that injury against the Bengals on Monday night, and it originally looked bad. Now they're saying it's actually not only not that bad, they're going to try to have him play this weekend, which certainly seems far-fetched in relation to how he felt watching him on Monday. He's dealing with a high ankle sprain. Walk me through the differences between a high ankle sprain and, quote, a normal ankle sprain.
A typical ankle sprain is when you turn your ankle inward, stretch, and or tear some ligaments down right near your ankle bone, even just below that, close to your foot. A high ankle sprain is a stretch and or complete tear of ligaments that are 5 or 6 inches, 4 or 5 inches above that bone that sticks out on the outside of your ankle. It happens with a different mechanism, and this is really interesting on the video and live that we saw with Trevor Lawrence. So his video shows his foot being rotated outward as opposed to the typical inward ankle sprain, and that stresses and tears a different set of ligaments.
I'm going to ask you a question about Monday night, and maybe you're equipped to answer it, maybe not, but he suffers the injury, and understanding that this is the face of that franchise, right? It's the quarterback. He hobbled off the field. He hobbled to the tunnel. The TV cameras show him in the tunnel, I guess going to a room where he can go through an X-ray or an MRI or maybe just a locker room, and he's walking. Why did they keep him on his feet after suffering that injury?
You know, I noticed the same thing, Mo, and I thought it was kind of interesting. However, I'll tell you this. Having been on the sidelines of football games for 20 years, I'm a big fan of letting the athlete come off the field like that if it's appropriate. Their first evaluation of him was on that field, looking at his ankle, and they're doing a physical exam of that ankle and that leg right there before they get him up. It's very possible and very appropriate to be able to do that evaluation and see that it's safe to assist that athlete off the field, putting a little bit of weight on his foot compared to do we need to get the cart. I'll tell you that. And so that's the main thing. I have no problems with what they did. And I think I was a big fan of that, and I still am a big fan of doing that when it's appropriate.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Go ahead.
I've seen some athletes jump on that cart at times when they don't need to. I've seen teams, medical staff, put them on the cart when maybe it's not necessary. Some of these athletes, and maybe Trevor's like that, I don't know, they feel better walking off the field if it's appropriate. So it makes him feel better, and it kind of signifies the level of the injury.
All right, so I mentioned that at the top, they're leaving open the possibility he's going to play this week, and you read reports that say they're going to do everything they can, Jacksonville and the medical staff, they're going to do everything they can to get him ready to hopefully play. Walk me through what that might look like.
Everything they can first is a completion of that evaluation with X-rays and MRI of that ankle. You get a full evaluation of your exam, your X-rays, and the MRI. That's been done already, I'm quite sure. Once the decision is made, if this is non-surgical, and I don't know that we know that yet, everything you can includes the best compression ice device, the stages of physical therapy for an ankle sprain. If the high ankle sprain is not as severe as others, it'll go through an ankle sprain protocol based on the severity of the injury. And everything they can is going to be icing it down, compression, get the swelling down, see his range of motion and strength, and see what that's like in a week. That'll be very dependent upon the severity of the injury.
Dr. Nick Gates from OrthoCincy is with us. Let's talk about another quarterback and another high ankle sprain. This one, though, has required surgery. I'm, of course, referring to Pittsburgh Steelers QB Kenny Pickett, who had tightrope surgery to deal with this high ankle sprain. He's going to miss at least a little time. What is tightrope surgery?
Tightrope surgery is the surgical repair of a high ankle sprain. A high ankle sprain, to get a little bit more in the weeds, the ligament you tear in a high ankle sprain is called your
I didn't know what to expect. I knew he'd be wearing something. I wasn't even sure we'd see him. And then I saw it and I went, well, that looks big. That looks like something really bad happened, which it did. So I guess it makes sense to me.
I would tell you, I think his injury is significant. I know, and obviously it's been pretty quiet in the public exactly what's going on, but I think he's had a real significant injury to his wrist, and he's got a long road to recovery.
Yeah, no, your colleagues at OrthoCincy would concur. Yeah, but you know what? We have Jake Browning now, so we're good to go.
I like watching Jake Browning.
I like talking to you, Dr. Nick Gates from OrthoCincy. Awesome expertise, man. Thanks so much.
You're welcome, Mo. Anytime.
Dr. Nick Gates, OrthoCincy.com. Say it every single week. The awesome thing about OrthoCincy is they've got specialists and locations all over the tri-state, and this includes walk-in orthopedic urgent care during the week from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at both Edgewood and Anderson. You don't need an appointment ever, and it goes without saying. It's cheaper and more convenient than going to an ER whenever you have an urgent orthopedic injury. Check out OrthoCincy.com. That's OrthoCincy.com. Looking for a place to watch all the games with your buddies this football season? You've got to stop by Long Neck Sports Grill. There are 3 locations, each one of them with 4K TVs all over the place, and the sound is always on for the big games. And you've heard me talk about Long Neck's menu, but have you tried the wings? What are you waiting for? And no place has a better beer selection than Long Neck's. And don't forget, Long Neck Sports Grill is also home of the Roundtable Show. Wilder, Hebron, and Richwood, each one of them awesome. Long Neck Sports Grill. This football season, stay late. Come often.